I don't give a shit about the public, right?
So a video popped into my feed yesterday from Matt Welch, who is a dog trainer, titled Tapping into Dog Aggressive Pit Bulls Most Aroused States. And so I naturally became a bit curious because I approached dog aggressive dogs, or aggression in general, in a much different way. So I began watching the video, and Matt Welch was engaging in something known as possession games, which was coined by Ivan Balabanov, and this is something that he teaches. And if you don't know who Ivan Balabanov is, he's a 2-time world champion and 13-time world champion in the realm of IGP. And if you don't know what IGP is, it's essentially like canine sports, and it has 3 phases: trekking, obedience, and protection. And essentially, these are competitive sports for dogs. Now, according to the Beacon Dog Academy, the question is, why do people use a stick to tap on a dog while bite training? And it basically says they would utilize it during service dog training or during bite training for a sport. And it says you can spot the difference between the two if the handler is holding a stick that is likely for sport dog training. So in this case, Matt Welch is in fact holding the stick. That would imply that this is bite training from the sports realm. And of course, this is something that was taught to him by Ivan Balabanov.
Possession game is, for me, the most fundamental, the most important game, because it's about something very interesting: competition and cooperation at the same time. When we master that, then we have confidence. So you can apply it with very fearful, shy dogs from a shelter. You can apply it with a very dominant, difficult dogs, and of course, any kind of sport dogs. So, okay. Oh, good thing. Good in. Nice pop. Whoa, whoa, what a bite he makes. Go back with him if he goes. How you like that? Wow. Oh, look at him. He wants his toy. Oh. Oh. And as I said, it's going to be a lot of problem solving, because I see all the time people that are trying to play the game but not understanding really what it's about, not being able to create that instinctual responses from the dog. It's equally important, as I said, for any dog. But from a trainer perspective, if you're able to teach this, that goes a long way. So on this little guy, imagine if I have to use that eventually as a reward, have the control and have the cooperation, right? That's his toy. And he wins it all the time. Wait. What is important here than focusing only on your dog. Of course, having a dog in the workshop is, I'm gonna win this one. I am going to win this one. Oh, maybe no. I see trainers trying to utilize the game, and the dog is just looking at the game. I don't know what we're playing. It's kind of, there is no real objective. There is no real activity here. And then instead of getting cooperation and motivation, you end up being, for me, the absolute most important game one can play with their dogs. Any dog, from a little puppy to any age, any breed.
So it goes on to say that during sport dog bite training, the handler uses sticks to hit the dogs out of the need for correction to not bite. This often occurs during bark or hold exercises, which entail the dog barking and holding the helper in place. If the dog bites while the helper is standing still, the handler smacks the dog with a stick as a correction to let the dog know that it should not bite when the helper is standing still. The dog is taught to think that the helper is prey during sports training, and therefore thinks of the bark and hold exercise as a baiting game. The dog barks enough, the helper will run, and the dog gives chase and bites the prey. And this is another game that Ivan Balabanov teaches, which is called chase and catch. But it goes on to say that there's an ongoing debate between these two types of trainers. Sports trainers see the helper using the stick and view it as bad because they believe it signifies the dog being corrected by their prey, which should never happen. However, but they believe this because they have a different perspective on how the dog views the helper. The dog is trained to view the helper as prey, they would be correct. But because service dogs view the helper as adversaries, the stick becomes a good thing because it signifies the danger posed by a suspect in a real-life scenario. And then it asks which is better. It says it depends on what you're looking for in a dog. If you want a dog that will be calm and collected under threats of harm, you will want to train your dog with a service dog mentality. However, if you want a dog that will be aggressive and have a high prey drive, you will want to train your dog with a sports mentality. There's also an interesting part under this section, is bite training abusive? And it says bite training for a sport is a different story. The dogs in these cases are not working and therefore do not have the same level of stress. However, the dogs are still being hit out of a correction of an error, not because the trainer enjoys it. And if the dog is outside of the sports arena and using this skill in a real life scenario, there is an element of danger in chasing prey. So for the handler to have a firm command of the dog is a matter of safety. Then it goes on to say, under sport and protection dog training, the first step in training a sport or protection dog is to build a bond between the trainer and the dog. With our course, you will learn how to build a bond with your dog and train them using positive reinforcement, of course. So let's tie this all back to the Matt Welch video. I'm sitting here watching this video and two things popped into my mind, and so I thought I'd ask two simple questions. If this is a dog aggressive dog, I would ask why you are engaging in challenging games or games which promote your dog challenging you over something, as well as engaging the prey drive. And this began this back and forth between me and him in which some interesting things happened, and he ended up revealing some interesting things, which led me to do a little bit more digging on Matt Welch. I'm going to go through this back and forth because it's important moving forward. So his response to this question was, I have explained this in my videos in my group many times with the results. I then responded, said I watched the two recent videos. The two dogs get within proximity but don't actually interact. Any video showing this dog with other dogs having a social interaction? Sure do. Posted in my group. If you came here to challenge me, go somewhere else. I don't have time for nonsense. And I said, wow, if you can't handle being challenged, don't put your content out for public consumption. Curious as to why you would not want to put that kind of video out for everyone to see. And at this point, someone else chimed in who's apparently part of his group and says, you have no clue what you're talking about. I am in the group and have seen all the videos. The progress with this dog has been beyond what anyone shows or is capable of. If you don't understand, it's better to ask for help. Matt is a great teacher. And then I say, all I did was ask a couple of questions. If I had videos showing what he claims to have, I would be posting them. And then I quoted him. He said, beyond what anybody shows or is capable of. And I said, my channel would demonstrate otherwise. Then Matt says, I have over 400 videos and you watch 2. The question you asked makes it clear your fundamental understanding of dogs and aggression is a joke, and this would be a waste of time. Not to mention you are going around challenging people on their videos. You can't even handle someone who has seen my proof telling you about it. Go deal with your insecurity elsewhere. Maybe watch another Cesar Millan marathon will help. He must have taken a glance at my page and saw the word dominance. And I've had this many times where I mention the word dominance and people automatically assume you're a Cesar Millan sycophant, when dominance is a scientifically backed thing. This is a studied phenomenon. You watch any documentary on the origin of the domestication of dogs going back to wolves, and the people will use this language in these documentaries. And he must not be aware that David Mech has been on the Ivan Balabanov podcast, clearing up his statements, basically saying that he never said dominance wasn't real, and people misunderstood what he said. But then I respond and say, why not just post the video? Your video popped up in my feed and I was curious, as I am someone who also works with aggressive and difficult dogs. I simply asked a couple of questions. I doubt all 400 videos pertain to the dog in those 3 videos. My insecurity? I have not attacked you in any way, unless you consider a couple of challenging questions an insult. You had no issue wasting time typing that out when you could have just answered the questions or posted the proof. And then I cheekily said, I watched 3 videos just to be precise. And then he responds, I have no interest in proving anything to you. Don't believe me. The people who matter have seen it and learn a lot from me. And I said, cool, but that sounds like you're trying to prove that you know what you're talking about, yet don't want to show the result of these 3 videos for the public, which is what matters. I'd be eager to show that to everyone if I had it. That's all I'm saying. I'd be much more interested in your content. This is all about educating the public, correct? And I further stated, don't take it personally. This industry is a mess, so it's only natural to be suspicious and to not be so quick to take someone's word for something. Matt says, I'm not interested in what you want. I have plenty of people who have seen me train dogs for decades. I'm okay without your approval. I don't take it personal. I just have nothing to prove to you. And since you think I do, you should go spend time with other trainers. Yeah, that'll get me very far. I'll be fine with you thinking I can't train a dog. Then I say, I never said you couldn't train a dog. Your statement sounded like you were trying to prove something even though you said you weren't. Are you sure I'm the insecure one? Considering most trainers aren't worth much, spending time around more of them wouldn't do me much good. I'm also not a, quote, trainer. He says, and this is why I went to my private group. This is where things get interesting. He says, I only share my best stuff with great trainers who matter to me. I got tired of the clowns coming on and playing expert. I never said I was an expert. And starting fights. Good luck to you. I have my group of great trainers and we all get better together. And then I respond, I don't understand why you would keep something like that just for trainers when it could benefit the general public. I find that kind of shady. Now I left another comment saying, very interesting website you have, because after he ended the conversation, I decided to go look up Matt Welch and I found some interesting things. But we'll get to his website, or I should say 2 websites, in a minute here, because he made a response video, or he made a video, even though he just said he wouldn't want to waste time on this. I made a video the next morning basically whining about the interaction we had, and so I'll play a little bit of that here for you.
Funny, I was challenged last night saying that I don't show any proof, and I didn't show any proof of Utah and stuff, and these ass clowns come out of nowhere. They watched like Steve Milan for a weekend, and said that I didn't show any proof of him with another dog, and that the stuff that I did, questioning like how it, you know, it's not good to do tug of war and games where I challenge the dog and engage in prey drive with.
Now, if you go to one of Matt's 2 websites, and mind you, both of them appear. Have you ever seen those old squeeze pages back in the day that people used to use? These are really remind me of those. They're essentially, it's one big sales pitch, and he's like overselling himself to get you to hire him. One of the things he says, who am I and why should you trust me with your dog? And one of the things he goes out of his way to say is that I'm honest, and I can also help. And anyone that tells you they can fix or cure every dog is a liar, but they will take your money. He says, I can help so many dogs others have failed with, and I will prove it. He says, but I will not exaggerate and guarantee results with every dog. That is unethical. I will do an evaluation and give you an honest opinion. If your dog is aggressive, I will tell you what can be done realistically. Now, Matt is claiming to be an honest individual, but within this video, he says a few things that are simply not true. And if you go to the video and look at the conversation we had, you'll see for yourself that things he's claiming that I said or that I did are just not true.
An aggressive dog and stuff like that. Anybody who says that right away, I don't want to deal with, because they're so lost. They're so lost as to what aggression is. They don't understand dogs. They don't understand aggression. They don't understand prey drive. They don't understand real aggression and stuff like that. And to tell me that, you know, what I do, I also have no proof, and I have 400 and something videos up showing proof. But he was demanding proof of this dog and stuff like that. And I've posted it in my group. I've posted, man, like countless videos of this dog from the beginning, what he was like, working him, how we got to this point and stuff like that. And you know, I'm not going to show that guy proof. He's actually been blocked. How great he was, and you know, he has all this. But you know, what I post publicly, what I post in my group privately for people that matter to me and care and stuff like that, and want to learn, that's up to me.
We got an angry one.
She wasn't, that's the whole thing. It's just weird. Like I said, I brought her in here. She was fine.
right? I got, my group is wonderful, man. I have a wonderful group. There's no fighting. Everybody wants to learn. People, it's really constructive. People comment and talk and help each other, and I help them, and I keep it that way, right? Everything that I post publicly, it's I don't give a shit about the public, right? I get my group and we help each other, and that's what we do. Come.
So Matt willingly admits that he does not give a shit about the general public, yet he serves the general public. And both of his websites are tailored specifically to getting you, the general public, into a position which you buy into the idea of hiring Matt Welch to work with your dog. Is this the kind of individual that you really want to work with? Somebody who is so willing to explicitly state that he does not give a shit about the public. Funny enough, the only reviews I can find on Matt Welch are 4 Facebook reviews, 2 of which I'd hardly call reviews because they don't really say anything. And funny enough, the first one, now this is back in 2019, mind you, and one of his websites is dated 2018. So this is after the creation of one of his websites. It says, Matt is the best when it comes to aggressive dogs. We consider giving Ace away. He was so rough. Matt's magic touch did wonders. Ace is still aggressive towards other dogs, but he's much more handleable, for lack of a better word. He's much more loving. Thank you, Matt. We did not forget you. Here's my main issue with this. Matt claims to have a superior understanding of dog aggression and dogs in general. And this reminds me of a post. I'm still a part of one Facebook group about dog aggression reactivity success stories. And there was a woman who posted in the other day talking about how her Rottweiler was redirecting her aggression onto her. And she said that the dog was part of a 5-week behavioral modification program where essentially she drops the dog off every day and these people work with the dog. And so I made the comment that anybody who needs 5 weeks to resolve any issue doesn't know what the hell they're doing. To my surprise, people are actually in agreement with this. So my issue with Matt in this particular context is that he sells 3, 4, and 6 week program where he essentially takes your dog in and the dog becomes a part of his family. Now, what if this particular individual doesn't need 3, 4, 6 week program? Why do you need 3 weeks to teach even basic obedience to an easy dog? 3 weeks? To me, that's ridiculous. Why do you need a difficult dog for 6 weeks? If Ivan's methodology is so good, why do you need 6 weeks to overcome even really difficult issues? And I went on to tell this individual in the group that I feel that these programs are predatory because a person basically has no choice but to give up their dog to you for weeks at a time, and maybe that's not even really what they need. If you really understand dogs and how dogs operate, you do not need 6 weeks to resolve really difficult issues. So please, anyone listen to this, go check out his websites. He has 2 of them. It's dogtrainingboca.com, or just look up Matt Welch Dog Training on Google. And a message to Matt Welch: if you need 6 weeks to resolve even difficult issues with the methodology you're using, then I'm sorry, you don't understand dogs and aggression as much as you think you do. And the fact that you're charging people the amount of money you're charging them, when one of the only reviews that you have available says that the woman's dog is still aggressive, to your credit, you did state that person's situation, you will achieve reasonable results. However, if you had 6 weeks with this woman's dog and all you could get to was a level where she could manage it better, then that's $3,500 that I believe that woman wasted on you.
You want that dog? You talk. Come. He wants that dog, see? I mean, this is a aggressive dog, man. Super. You want to treat you? He's like, I don't care. This is why food will fail. The recall works, right? But the food will 100% fail. And he has electric on it, not being used. I like I said, I put it on him. The trainer before me lit him up with it, so he was scared of it and stuff like that. So I put it on him. He wears it all the time. We go out and we play. I never use it on him, never. I put it on him because someday I might, and I want him. He's okay with it now. I used to come with it, and he was like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna get fried." I'm like, "No, you're really not gonna get fried." But you could see him with these dogs, right? Like there's. Right, I have no proof of this, right? I have no proof. of what I do with these dogs. If you're going around the internet commenting on other people's stuff, negative stuff, you're a loser. I see people's stuff every day that I do not agree with. They're losers, and they're trying to get people to look at him. He kept saying how great he was, and you know, he has all this proof and blah 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 blah, and of course he didn't. But he's just trying to get people to click on his stuff to go look off of my page to him. I know the game, you know what I mean? That's real loser mentality.